Hey, what's up again, everybody? It's Robert184, 2Rs2B's Gundam Reviews.net, back with another anime review as Gundam Build Fighters. Episode 6 has just aired on Monday night, and I've got a special guest, D, here this week. How you doing?
Oh, good. Glad to be here.
Good. So let's get right to a little bit of background information about D and the show before we move into the best ofs of a pretty strong episode, I'd say, overall.
Agreed.
So D is here for a bit of a different perspective. M, who's usually around, is quite well versed in Gundam. But D, how about you? How many episodes of Gundam do you think you've seen out of the, 1,000 that are out there?
Maybe 10.
Nice, yeah. Nice. And which series was it?
It was the original, the first.
Yeah, so first Gundam. And for Build Fighters, you've just sort of binged and caught up.
Yeah, I've seen all episodes now.
And how much anime? Have you seen Pokemon or any shows like that?
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with the format and everything.
And which one did you say, Sakura or Card Captor?
Yu-Gi-Oh, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and that's sort of cool because I've never watched a show like Pokemon or things like this, but I've got the feeling that what we're seeing with Build Fighters is exactly like that, as with Pokemon or whatever. They're going to tell you to get out there, buy the cards. In this case, they're getting you out there, getting excited to use your imagination, build the Gunpla, and then fight with your friends using your imagination, as we don't quite have the technology to hop into that kind of environment for real. But so far, what has your impression been of the first 5 episodes and going into tonight?
Well, I really like it. It's interesting. It's a clever idea, I think. And it's very, the storyline is promising.
Now, compared to some anime, this is going to come across as a little bit kiddie. Does that bother you so far?
No, not at all.
Nice. All right, so let's get on to episode 6, where last week we had a sudden withdrawal as Tatsuya Yuki, he who always says watashi, was disappeared at the end of the episode after we got to see Yorisei get a new friend in the form of the Gundam X and Ma-O specifically. But after this, the whole episode was Reiji not being very happy because all of a sudden the guy he wanted to fight more than anybody disappeared. So, D, what was your overall impressions of the episode as they built up to the final?
Yeah, it's not as good as the last one, I think, but it's like the end was actually really good. Like the last minute or so, I really loved the stinger.
Leading into here. So I think for me, watching this episode, we've always been wondering where is the father? And I think more and more we're going to see that for people that are a little bit disappointed that this show is going to be about kids playing with their Gundam, just like their Pokemon, that I wonder if they're going to take this in the direction of there is real battles out in space or real military units, and ultimately this is just training for that. And I think that they're moving more and more in that direction, whether it comes true or not. What do you think so far?
Yeah, I think that could be. I'm not sure. Like, at first I thought that he's actually gonna work with the Mao guy, and then they will just meet again in the finals. But now, yeah, it very much looks like you said, that they will actually move into space, or at least fight real Gundam fights.
I liked, so along the way, I did like the fact that they were blowing up the gym boards. So anyway, let's get on to the best of the week, starting with characters. And I've got Yorisei here with a new and improved jacket in Lego form, thanks to the collectible minifigures. All right, so D, who was your favorite character of episode 6?
We don't know her name yet, but white hair girl at the end of the episode did it for me.
And the exciting eyes, and it's the kind of thing where you just know she's going to be a new type of some sort, perhaps the pilot of the Cubely. And this is something that I thought was nice. All you Gundam fans out there, Rambaral D, not one of your favorites, the old guy in blue, but definitely keeping a lot of us watching it. What did you think of Reiji or Yorisei, or what did you think of the main characters this week?
It was a little bit cliched, the fact that Reiji was so disappointed at, what's his face, bowing out.
Tatsuya Yuki wasn't there.
But in the end he turned around, as expected, and he's showing newfound enthusiasm. So
yes, and it's sort of cool that people can take their hobbies, and because it's their hobby, be passionate about that. I sort of like those lines in there.
Yeah, that's actually, even though like you said, I don't like Raul, but that was a good thing, actually.
And it was sort of cool. For me, I really liked, Yorisei had a couple good moments in this show. He could have been pouting when Reiji was off, but instead, what was he doing? He was off building, and he was getting ready for the final battle. And it was great. When Reiji came back, he knew exactly that there was something. He was filled with vinegar, and off they went to go actually have a good fight. So I thought it was a good show for both of them, with Reiji being a little bit annoying at the beginning, or, just complaining a little bit. But how about that mother and her cute actions in the background, watching her son hit on a girl as they go and paint Gunpla together. Yes, good times all around. So moving on to mobile suits of the week, and this is sort of neat again because when people who are regular fans of Gundam are watching, we're always going to be colored by our impressions, The gold sumo doesn't mean that much unless you're a Harry Ord fan, perhaps. But D, how about you? Which mobile suits impressed you today?
I really like the new Mark II. I like it.
So what do you think? Compared to the Build Strike, the one that we've seen as the main lead before this, did it look just newer, more technological, or good backpack? What did you think?
No, I really like the design of it. It's very simple. I like that. It's not like too elaborate. I don't like that if they look too elaborate.
And it definitely is a step up on the old classic design of the RX-78, and I did like the 178B touch out there. For me, honorable mention goes to the Gyagyagan anytime it's painted up in yellow with double shields out there looking very much like a fembot from Austin Powers firing. Anyway, I just thought that was a nice, hilarious touch. Before we got into the bread and butter, I haven't bought into the hype of the Mark II, but I'll probably do that next week. As Build Strike and Zaku Amazing, I wonder, has your time come and gone already? We hardly knew ye. Sort of interesting to think that the Strike Gundam is going to be leading into the Mark II, considering we're going back to the mid-80s compared to something from the early 2000s. But I thought the Zaku Amazing in the battle was particularly well animated at the end, and both MSs pulling out all the stops, all the weapons, even going as far as their 500 and 800 yen add-ons, finishing up the battle, which they didn't even bother showing us, but just seeing the head blown up of the Build Strike is something that outside of the 08th MS team covers is something that you don't usually see with Gundams. That much realism depicted in the actual damage done. And Yorihei just saying, don't worry, I'm going to fix it up. It was just what Rage needed to just get powered up and fight through it. And even though they lost, you know that they're going to be back, as he always has something in his pocket. And so does Bandai to sell you. So D, how about you? What was your favorite scene of the episode?
I'm with you on the last fight. It was really good. I like the fact that they literally destroyed each other. And I like the fact that they didn't show the end, because frankly, these chat backs or whatever they are, it's not all too interesting to see how they fight it out.
Yeah, sort of lines of pink and blue in the sky may be better. And besides, if you remember Amuro fighting Char, or as you saw in the first few episodes of what you watched, you know they're going to be back in some sort of variations, some of which may be looking pretty familiar. So I really like the battle scene as well. But for me, great battles, we've seen those before. What I really liked was the deepening sense of sort of significance, or basically realism that's going on in the real world around them. When you've got Tatsuya Yuki with a military uniform person, testing him to take on the third generation, third mobile suits, and 3 is always a good number for this guy, and his use of Watashi, but at the same time, coming back and realizing how good these two might just be between Gunpla and the actual piloting. I just thought it was great that he manned up, came back for the fight, and still at the same time, he still has his duty that he's about to go perform, and it just makes me more intrigued. People have been speculating 13, 26, or 52. If they stretch this into a real-world mystery, as where is the father and is Tatsuya Yuki following, and then the Mao and all of their friends along the way, it's something that I think they've teased enough about this episode to make me really think that there's a long-term and mysterious and very cool future for the series. But ultimately, yeah, my other favorite scenes, the mom just watching through, that was just hilarious, and her eyes were too cute. So D, how about any final thoughts on the episode?
It really leaves me wanting to see the tournament now, especially now that we know who they are facing. White hair girl, as you know, my favorite character this episode. But also, like you said, there's still a lot of mystery going on, and we don't know anything about Raiji. We don't know what's going on with Real Gundam, where is his father, and all this is really exciting, actually. And it's only been 6 episodes. If there's really 52 of them, there's a lot to look forward to.
Cool. And for me, it's the same thing. I'm enjoying the Gunpla episode. The fact that they're already on to the finals of the qualifying tournament means that if you watch G Gundam, I mean, look how long it took them to get to Hong Kong, and then another half season there. With this case, it seems like they're going to be moving on to the World Championships or the championship level very soon, and then that leaves all sorts of room for all sorts of cool and mysterious things to happen after that. Anyway, it's all exciting for me, and you know that they're going to be making friends and foes battling along the way. And if they all end up teaming up together on something like the Pegasus White Base, yeah, it could be a lot of fun. Anyway, everybody, episode 6 was a lot of fun for me. Could have come across as very cheesy, very Pokemon-ish, as the two friends came together and said, we've got to go battle, as did the man himself, Tatsuya Yuki. But at the same time, for me, it wasn't cliched. I quite enjoyed it, and I hope you did as well. Anyway, everybody, D, thanks a lot for being here.
Thank you.
And everybody, stick around. We'll see you next week for episode 7. Don't forget to go to GundamReviews.net and vote on the episode there. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Sigh. All that And they still didn't do enough to get MS or booster pack even of the week. Character. So D, who was your favorite character of the week?
Hang on.
That didn't.